Coming up on News 2, many graduations held territory-wide, highlights from various ceremonies on St. Thomas and St. Croix. Meanwhile, as they step into the future, the next levels are higher institutions of learning and joining the workforce. The Department of Labor is promoting programs that could help young people enter the workforce. Plus, a Grenadian national and a Dominican national were arrested for alien smuggling. Details. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Guman-Singh. Topping our newscast, the weekend was packed with graduations across the territory. We'll have those highlights later on in the newscast. The Department of Labor, meanwhile, is promoting programs that could help young people enter the workforce. One focus of the department is fighting out-of-school unemployment. News 2's April Knight has details.
In the wake of graduation season, the Department of Labor is hard at work, pushing programs geared toward helping Virgin Islands youth. One of them is an upcoming job fair aimed at keeping working-age youth in the territory.
We have this misnomer that Virgin Islands suffer from a brain drain, and the best thing that we export is talent. So we want to let employers know, and employers know that the talent is here, and we also want to let graduates know that opportunities are here as well.
According to Webster, a shift in legislation is also putting more emphasis on unemployed out-of-school youth, whose numbers nationally tend to be much higher than the national unemployment average.
If you see the alarming rate between, in reference to unemployment rates, it usually skyrockets and is higher around the 16 to 24 demographic. We tend to have a lot of individuals who graduate from high school and they just can't find that job, or they might take only one class at the university but they're not doing anything else. And we also have individuals who dropped out of high school but need assistance in getting back into school.
The Federal Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act kicks in locally in July, and it mandates that 75% of federal funds toward labor's youth programs be utilized to stem unemployment among out-of-school youth.
With this new legislation, we're going to put a lot of our effort in starting serving the out-of-school youth population, but more so connecting them with employers. It's good to do the trainings all day. It's great to have somebody do the occupational skills training or soft skills training, but if it's not resulting in jobs, we're not being successful.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Now, while the application process for most summer programs at the Department of Labor have passed, you can still go to www.vidol to check out their year-round opportunities. Meanwhile, all recent graduates, take note, you do not want to miss this upcoming fair on June 22nd and June 24th. The Department of Labor will be hosting this job fair, they say, to connect recent graduates from all high schools and UVI with businesses who have current or anticipated employment opportunities. Registration is free, but seating is limited. Please register as soon as possible by June 15th. June 22nd, again, that's from 1 to 5. It will be held at UVI's Great Hall in St. Croix. Then June 24th from 1 to 5 at UVI Fitness Center on St. Thomas. Elena Christian Junior High's Rocketry Club thanked Innovative with a certificate and specially framed pictures of their White House visit and Rocketry Challenge participation. The group made a similar presentation to Wideya quadrille dancers last week, as we reported, for their support of the organization.
It is a distinct pleasure to present to Innovative this wonderful certificate that reads, Certificate of Appreciation presented to Innovative for your support and contribution.
You have brought to the USVI and Elena Christian Junior High School international attention. You were at the White House recently, and I could not have been more proud as a Virgin Islander and as a supporter. Innovative is excited about working with your group because this is a STEM program. This is exactly the kinds of educational programs that we believe is the future.
Well, the first in a series of election town hall meetings is already underway this evening on St. John. The meetings are being held ahead of planned working sessions on election forums scheduled later this week between lawmakers and election officials. The St. Thomas Town Hall will be held Tuesday evening at the hospital, and the St. Croix meeting at UVI.
These town hall meetings ahead of the working sessions will open dialogue to make needed changes to Title 18 of the Virgin Islands Code, which speaks to election policies and procedures pertaining to how the territory runs every aspect of its elections. It is something that our residents are very much interested in after seeing how the current laws create confusion and contradiction.
In other news, people with disabilities got a chance to talk about the issues that challenge them daily during a town hall meeting held Friday on St. Croix. The governor's ADA office held the meeting at the university so the new administration could hear directly from the disabled communities. NEWS2's Erica Parsons has the story.
Transportation and accessibility are the two biggest challenges for individuals with disabilities.
Those are always the top two priorities for individuals with disabilities. They want the same access to services as other individuals, and they want to be able to have a sense of independence, and they can't gain independence unless they're able to traverse the island as everybody else does, and so they rely on public transportation.
The Office of the Governor's ADA office held a town hall on St. Croix Friday to hear directly from the disabilities community. The new administration says making sure everyone is included is a big priority.
They're very, very serious about the implementation of the ADA and including all individuals with disabilities in our community.
The St. Croix meeting is the first in a series of town halls scheduled across the territory. Officials from several government agencies were present to talk about some of the plans going forward to make the territory more ADA compliant.
My number one priority is removing the architectural barriers that exist in the government buildings. As a government, we're required to provide access, first and foremost, to our buildings and our services. So that's our number one priority. And I'm having these town meetings through the Office of the Governor so that we can become more fully aware of what issues affect this particular branch of our community.
While physical changes are a priority, educating residents is also at the top of the list.
We have to remove the negative stigmatism that's often attached to individuals with disabilities.
Erica Parsons, NEWS2.
Now, the town halls for St. Thomas and St. John will be held in the near future. The dates haven't been set as yet. July is also the 25th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. More information will be shared about those events. In other news, Kenrick Christopher, 47, a Grenadian national, and Jared Shillingford, 33, a Dominican national, were arrested June 11, 2015. Magistrate Judge Ruth Miller remanded both men to the custody of the U.S. Marshals Service. According to the complaint, the United States Coast Guard and U.S. Customs and Border Protection intercepted the SV vessel Annapurna off the coast of St. John on June 10, 2015. The complaint states that the vessel was operated by both Christopher and Shillingford and contained 61 Haitian nationals seeking to enter the United States illegally. We'll turn our attention overseas. A little more than 3 days into the national media frenzy, Rachel Dolezal, the civil rights activist in Washington state who has come under fire for her disputed racial identity, said Monday she was stepping down as president of the NAACP's Spokane chapter. In a message posted on the group's Facebook page, Dolezal reported she was stepping aside after the unexpected firestorm that erupted over whether she misrepresented her race. Dolezal became the center of a controversy last week when her parents came forward to say that she was a white woman who was claiming to be black. When a reporter for KXLY in Spokane asked her if she was African American, she said she did not understand the question and walked away after 5 months as head of the Spokane chapter. And keeping our eye on the economy, here's the New York Stock Exchange with our stock market watch. As we can see, everything down. The Dow, 107, NASDAQ, 21, S&P 500, 9. Well, coming up on NEWS2, Caribbean Community Theater presented Dictation, the production. The author was on island for a meet and greet and Q&A. Plus, several commencement ceremonies were in full effect this past weekend. We'll have those highlights. Well, Well, some 286 graduates proudly claimed their diplomas on Sunday from Shalimali High School at the UVI Sports and Fitness Center, including these two young men, Malik Gumansing and Kadeem Gumansing. And I'd like to say big congrats to you guys. I am a proud aunt. Now, most of the youngsters are heading to college. The students also honored surviving members of the class of 1940. Now, if you missed it, you can view the entire ceremony on FETtelevision.com.
Academic Quiz Bowl, three-peat moot court, Carnival Queen, just to name a few, all accomplished in our year. Class of 15, I think it's safe to say we are awesome.
We made lasting memories and shared amazing experiences. There were challenges we also had to face. Every year came with a new challenge or obstacle, requiring our best efforts to overcome.
Meanwhile, Ken High School, Eudora Ken High School produced 215 new graduates this year, 66% of whom are headed for college on the mainland and University of the Virgin Islands. Here are some of the encouraging speeches from the top-notchers of class of 2015.
Our mentors, families, and friends contribute a tremendous part in making us worthwhile individuals. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm, but this served as an inspiration in reaching our dreams.
I encourage each of you to let go of the burdensome lies and excuses that you may have told yourselves. The "I'm not good enough," "smart enough," or "brave enough."
Antley School, meanwhile, produced 39 new graduates this year. They were accepted to a total of 155 universities and earned a total of $2.7 million in merit scholarships. The valedictorian got a little emotional during her speech. Both the Val and Sal took nuggets of wisdom from children's book authors.
Now, a quick quote from Dr. Seuss that I believe sums up their lives. We're all a little weird, and life is weird. And when we find someone whose weirdness is compatible with ours, we join up with them and fall into mutual weirdness we call it love.
As J.K. Rowling said in the 4th book of the Harry Potter series, The Goblet of Fire, we are only as strong as we are united, weak as we are divided.
Well, this weekend wasn't as popular as St. Thomas for graduations on the Big Island, but the graduates were no less happy on St. Croix. 17 seniors crossed the stage to receive their diplomas from the St. Croix 7-Day Adventist School and emerged as graduates for the class of 2015. Holly Ann Ford was named as the class's salutatorian. Kelly Frederick took the top honor as valedictorian. 15 of the 17 are headed to college, while 2 remaining students have plans to enter the military. The class received almost $500,000 in scholarships and awards. Meanwhile, 17 graduates from the St. Thomas St. John's 7th Day proudly accepted their diplomas on Sunday at the BCB Auditorium. All have made plans to attend colleges and universities. Salutatorian was Shante Rollins, who was class president, and valedictorian was Portia Charles. They shared some words of wisdom to the class while thanking those who gave them a hand along the way. Shante plans to attend UVI to pursue nursing, and Portia is already an early admission student at UVI majoring in elementary education. Principal Whitman Brown, during his address, awarded this year's Principal's Award to Rikisha Codigan, who he said was very committed to the school and being a leader. Well, congrats to all the graduates. Count on 2. We'll have some more graduation highlights this week. Well, now that graduation is over for some, do you have some uniforms you'd like to donate? Well, Parents Matter, an ad hoc discussion empowerment group, they're inviting everyone to their 2nd annual Parents Uniform Guild and Family Social. The time and place and date all to be announced in the near future. But in the meantime, the drop-off point is at O'Henry Dry Cleaners in Tutu near the Walgreens store. They aim to help families in need with school uniforms and supplies. Now, items donated must be fresh and clean and free of any missing parts, rips, or stains. New uniforms for sale as well. Now, they are collecting everything: some bags, belts, blouses, and shirts, lunch kits, pants, patches, and more, even school supplies. So be sure to listen out. We'll give you the dates for the social. St. Croix Caribbean Community Theater is finishing its 30th season with Dictation, a collection of skits, poems, and monologues. Dictation's author, Larita Shelby, visited St. Croix this weekend and took in the show with touches on a variety of social and cultural issues. After Sunday's matinee performance, she shared her experience with members of the audience.
You know, it was a multicultural cast was least likely than it is now. And so when I wrote these, I subtitled for African Americans only because I didn't want the culturally specific pieces to be missed by those who were looking for culturally significant pieces. But I also knew that the Spirit was speaking through me with universal stories.
Great event there. Well, be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.